Obsession, obsession, obsession. Woo! Obsession.
Really beautiful. I feel so much better than yesterday even.
Obsession.
Woo! Because I'm just timing my turns a little better. Ooh, yeah. That felt good.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a big radius.
As long as
Okay.
a treasure lit me from obsession, obsession.
Woo! First free from us.
Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're talking about the Black Crow's Atris. This ski was really fun. It's got a 105mm width waist underfoot. The length is a 184.3, very specific. And the turn radius is 20 meters on the nose. Now these skis normally retail for $949.95. They currently are for sale on evo.com for $664. I will link that down below. If you like this review and you want to buy the skis, I will absolutely provide that link so you can buy them. It supports the channel, not by a lot, but I do appreciate it. The ski's weight comes in at 1,975 grams. Actually fairly light when you consider the width. It's pretty normal or even on the lighter side a little bit. This ski comes with a double rocker. The ski's materials are pretty simple actually. They have a poplar core with a fiberglass top. It does have splay in the tip and the tail, but not ultra aggressive. You can see here a pretty healthy amount of camber, and then you've got that fiberglass top sheet, but it doesn't make that kind of pingy fiberglass noise. I will say they're pretty expensive when you buy them new, but I'd say for $664.95, that's a very good value overall, if you can find them on sale. If you look at them from far away, they aren't completely center mounted. They are mounted a little bit back, just factory default, but they're more center than some of the other skis that you might see. They're definitely more center mounted than my QST 106 or similar skis. Now that we've got construction out of the way, let's talk about how they felt. My first impression with these skis was really positive. These were actually a little intimidating. They were very aggressive, very sendy, very kind of with that long open 20-meter radius. They carry speed really efficiently and really well. You have to be ready for them because they will kind of shoot out from underneath you if you've got a little pitch in your fall line. So I think that's a good thing because after skiing on these for a few days, I skied on these 3 days total to really get a feel for them. I like working with Black Crows. They do a phenomenal job. They're really nice to work with. They're one of the first companies I worked with, and honestly, when they send out a ski, I really want to make sure I'm doing my diligence in trying them out, and that was kind of my first impression. They're very cruisy. They really have that long open radius. They like to gain speed. They'll pick up traction quickly. They're a little bit on the heavier side, so the quick turns between trees, you do have to work a little bit extra, but the speed you get and the lines you're able to take as a result are totally worth it. So that was my first impression, just like, wow, these love to cruise, they like to go fast, and they want to take you for a ride. Very impressed with these right off the bat. All right, now that we've covered that, let's talk good, and then we'll talk about the bad. The good is, honestly, I really like the way that this ski cruises. It cruises through powder. It cruises through the corduroy. It is just a very cruisy ski. You get it in the right kind of sweet spot of the ski, you can kind of charge and float through everything. The ski carries its momentum really well. It will set you up for beautiful lines that I could not do on other skis like the Atomic Backland or other similar skis. I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. Now, if you don't like going fast, or you like a ski that is really gonna give you quick little turns and not like big open turns, maybe look at the Miras Core or a more similar ski. This is kind of a wider ski that will allow you to cruise through every line. The other thing that I really liked about the ski, I mean, it's got that big open radius, but in that open radius, you can kind of sit and surf through different conditions in a very satisfying way. The other thing I really liked about the ski is it was stable, it had low chatter without feeling deaf or dead. There are some skis that have low chatter, but you don't really feel much out of them. The Nordic Enforcer is a good example of this. The K2 Mindbender and Rosignol Black Ops Sender can kind of do this. They can feel damp, but you don't get much feeling out of your feet because of that. Whereas this ski, it doesn't have a lot of chatter, but it doesn't tune out all of the feeling you want to have in your feet with connecting to the snow and connecting to your turns. I know a lot of times people with Black Crow will say, well, that's an influencer brand and they're not really good skis. There's not a lot of technology in the skis, it's just wood and fiberglass. No, the way that they construct these skis, what's inside of them, the way that they've mastered where to put wood and how to affect the density of it is really beautiful because the way you flex it is very even. And whenever they did with the wood here, with that poplar wood, they managed to kind of mute out or block out the bad chatter or the bad vibrations you don't want to feel in your carving or in your off-trail skiing without muting out the good feeling of the ski. That's been my big critique of like Renown. I think Renown, you feel everything and it feels great if the conditions are good, but you feel the bad when it's bad. Whatever Black Crows has going on with their poplar wood or the construction or the build, whatever it is that's combining, it feels like noise canceling headphones for your feet, but it's bringing in the important details that your feet want to feel. So it's a very satisfying feeling and a very well-tuned ski when it comes to dampness. Similar to its cousin, the Draco Freebird, it has a very nice gradual flex. The way that it flexes and loads up is very satisfying. This is a ski that takes time to master how much pressure to load into the ski. It's, it's stable, so you gotta kind of time when to flex it. But when you master that, it's very rewarding in and out of turns. I mean, a lot of what I really like about this ski is the stable platform it provides, and just that gradual and rewarding flex that you get out of that poplar wood. I think that if you take the time to learn the ski, to learn where to sit on it in the powder, on when and where to apply your pressure in and out of turns, I think this is one of the more satisfying skis I've learned. And over the 3 days, I felt myself exponentially improving my turning as I learned how to flex the ski. So those are my favorite things about this ski. All right, now that we've gotten all chummy, let's talk about the bad. Because if you're gonna buy these skis, if you're gonna spend your hard-earned money on these skis, you wanna know the good, but you also wanna know the bad because you're gonna have to live with these. So let's talk about the downsides to the Black Crow's Atris. To be honest, this ski is a bit bulky. Now, that's by design, right? This ski wants to kind of power through the powder. It wants to power through different conditions. If you have adverse different conditions, the ski does well. But with that comes kind of a bulky ski. If you're in the trees, it can take a bit of work to turn them and get them going. So if you're doing those kind of little bunny hops in the trees with tight lines, it can be a little bit more difficult. Now, if as you progress as a skier, myself included in the trees, and you're able to set your lines up farther ahead, you will be rewarded by that. So this is more of an advanced powder and off-trail ski. So I will say if you're looking at getting this ski, I don't think you're gonna outgrow it anytime soon. I also, because it's kind of a bulky ski, when you're carving, you kind of have to initiate the turns with your hips, similar to the peak skis actually, where you can get most of it by flexing the ski, but if you wanna kind of shorten that 20-meter turn radius, you're gonna need to kind of let your hips initiate the turn just a little bit in order to kind of shorten up that radius. So if you're somebody who doesn't love adjusting your hips when you carve, that could be a downside for you. And that may depend too, with that 20-meter radius, it may depend on the size of your mountain. If you don't live on a very big mountain, or it's hard to set up lines, or you just don't have room to make those kind of turns, or enough snow to kind of have the ski make sense, you may consider something like the Miras Core or a different ski altogether. So, if you're on a very small mountain and you want to get a lot of turns out of not a lot of terrain, this ski isn't gonna do that. This ski has wide open, big turns, and also in the powder, it needs time to kind of bring the ski around. When you do that, it's very rewarding. But if you don't have room to do that, you won't get that satisfying feeling. The other downside of this ski is that it takes a little bit more balance than some other skis. Like my QST 106s, you have to balance where you are on the ski, but it's got a little bit more wiggle room. Because these skis are so advanced, if you're too far forward, these tips will grab and kind of push you over the edge. Every ski does that, but this one requires a little bit more skill and a little bit more balance to find right that kind of sweet spot to sit in the ski. So if you're somebody who's new to powder, I wouldn't necessarily recommend these right off the bat, because if you're too far forward and this tip grabs into the powder, you will go over the front. That's not necessarily a design flaw or anything. I think that's just something that you develop. Like that balance forward and back on the ski is something you develop over time, and I think if you are a pretty advanced skier, you can learn it. But just know right off the gate, you can't be too forward or this twin tip will really grab, and it's not super forgiving. It's a smooth turn, it'll really send you through the powder, but you gotta be able to find that sweet spot and find your balance. So now we've talked good, bad, let's talk score. Honestly, this ski's score kind of fluctuated a little bit day to day. They always felt good, but it was like, oh, well, was it great? Was it just okay? And I think that's why I'm glad I spent 3 days on these, because I got to feel all the nuance. I got to feel, when does a ski at its best? When is the ski at its worst? What skills do you need to kind of master it? But at the end of the day, I was extraordinarily happy with this ski. I felt like this ski pushed me into developing skills I didn't even really know I needed. And once I took the time to learn the ski, become really familiar with it, find that sweet spot, send it around when I needed to, I was so thrilled by how fun these were to ski. They carry speed through the powders amazingly. They kind of allow you to set up these beautiful smooth surfing turns. You know, they're not the liveliest ski. You do really need to look ahead. You can't get lazy with your turns, especially when you get in the close quarter trees. So it's not perfect, but if you're somebody who wants to really send it and really get good at going fast, off trail, on trail, I think this is a pretty miraculous ski. So for me, this is an 8.8 out of 10. It's probably closer to a 9 than an 8.6. But 8.8 is what I'm giving it, because I think the ski has a lot to offer, but it takes skill and it takes mastery to get there. On top of that, you know, if you're somebody who's looking for quick powder turns because you don't have a good winter, at the beginning of the winter, like up until end of February, I was thinking, oh, this is a bad winter. All of the powder I found was in the trees, in those quick turns. And that portion of the winter, this would be a hard ski to recommend. But then you get these big powder days where you can set up big lines, really master the ski. When you think about it, like when you have really deep powder, the lines you can take and how much momentum you can take uphill changes. And that's what I really liked about the ski, is it could carry my speed through the powder and get me into those chutes, get me into those parts of the mountain that I really wanted to be. So I think I could wholeheartedly recommend these. I like the simple fiberglass and wood. I think that some people look at that and go, well, I'm not getting my money's worth. There's not enough technology crammed into these skis. Well, I think you could argue that somebody who masters where you put the density of poplar wood into the ski and how that kind of marries with the fiberglass top sheet, it's not a lifestyle brand. It's not a flashy Instagram brand. This ski is the real deal, and they've totally mastered what is inside of these skis and how to get it flexed and how to kind of fine tune it. For me personally, it's an 8.8. I think this ski is an absolute rocket, and I really enjoyed my time on the Black Crows Atris. Lastly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Black Crows. They have been amazing to work with. They send me skis when they're available. They were one of the first brands that were really willing to work with me, even when I was a smaller channel. We just passed 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. But I really want to say, not every company is this willing and this enthusiastic to send me skis. So Black Crows, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They didn't send me any money. They just sent me skis and I ship them back. But I still really value their willingness and their chutzpah for sending me skis. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way you can support the channel. If you'd like to buy these, I will have an affiliate link down below. Right now, I know they are on sale on Evo, so there are definitely some good deals out there. If you want to become a channel member, you can do that down below as well. That will allow you, feedback from me on sizing, what skis to get. I'll even give you feedback on your skiing, and you get to see videos early, which I think is a pretty cool perk. So if you're interested in that, that's a good way to support the channel. But as always, just thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys being here. And because you guys watch these videos, I'm able to review cool skis like this. So thank you so much for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
As long as I a treasure lent me from a distant obsession.